Hello and welcome to Aligned Future with me, Fiona Ellis Coach, author, mentor, trainer, shaman, hippie, dog mum, and a whole bunch of other things you'll find out along the way. And we are here to talk about the most interesting topic on the planet, you. I've created the Aligned Future podcast because we spend so much of our life fractured from the truth of who we are, separated from ourselves, and trying to be everything to everyone else. It's my intention to share everything I know about human behaviour from a spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical wellness perspective, or as I like to call it, how to be a human 101, so that you can begin to cut through all the noise out there and find your way back to your truest source of wisdom and ultimate guru, yourself. And hopefully along the way, we can help you release the past, reset the present, and rebuild for an aligned future. This podcast is just for entertainment purposes, and although I will give source credit where I can, please take any of my suggestions with a grain of salt and assume that everything is made up and go do your own further research, which, let's face it, is the best attitude to approach not just this podcast, but everything in the world, because even universal knowledge and last year's cutting-edge research can and is being proved wrong on the daily basis. Remember when we all knew the earth was flat and people were arrested for saying otherwise? Remember when doctors prescribed cigarettes for asthmatics and pregnant mums? Question everything has been my attitude for a long time, and it is what has led me to create this podcast, so we can explore a range of topics from relationships, health, wealth, and many other areas impacting our life, and even chat with a few other experts along the way. Personally, I've been fascinated with the brain and body connection since I was a child. I was an elite athlete, state champion swimmer until 11 years old, when I suffered chronic fatigue syndrome and began to learn the connection between physical and mental health. But it wasn't until 2008 when at the peak of my successful corporate career, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety and told, here, just take these drugs for the rest of your life. Thanks, but no thanks. That's when I finally started studying the mind-body-spirit connection in earnest and embarked on my own natural healing and new career instead. I started with cognitive behaviour therapy, which led to neurolinguistic programming, which is technically my core formal modality, although as a master practitioner and trainer of NLP, it has been a great foundation to explore and research into everything else, from the law of attraction, quantum physics, neuroscience, positive psychology, business, wealth creation, energetic healing, Aboriginal healing, plant medicines, and pretty much anything I can get my hands on. I keep coming back to the NLP foundations though, because they are the building blocks of how everything else seems to work. I'll go into it a bit more deeply in future episodes. The research done into understanding the brain and why we do what we do, and most importantly, how to change what's not working, has been instrumental in understanding myself and cultivating a life I love, and then helping my clients to do the same. I've been coaching one-on-one and running trainings and online programs privately for well over a decade, almost 15 years, and mentoring in public relations, marketing, sales, and business for almost 20. During that time, I've specialized with helping releasing high-functioning addictions, childhood and generational trauma, and I am passionate about helping men and couples to integrate their divine masculine and feminine balance again. But as much as I love working one-on-one, I finally decided it's time to share what I know on a broader scale, because there are only so many clients I can take on personally in a day, and I don't want anyone who needs to hear this content missing out. Now, there is no particular order or sequence to these episodes, although I'll do my best to tag them accordingly. But if you're after a more structured approach on a particular topic, it's best to check out our courses on our website, alignedfuture.com, and at Fierce Wild Free, where we also have workbooks, guided processes, and much more detailed teachings. Now, full disclosure, Those of you who know me know I have a tendency to go off on very passionate rants and tangents. So, for the purposes of keeping things a little more manageable on the podcast, I am planning on, fingers crossed, trying to keep these episodes to around the 20-minute mark to make them more accessible and usable. But for those of you brave enough to want a deep dive into the random rantings of my mind, there will also be a link in the bio to join the private members area for extended episodes, bonus content, and even the opportunity to pose your own questions for future podcast conversations. So check out that in the bio and links below. So thanks for joining me. I'm excited to share some wisdom, maybe even get to chat with you in person one day or even an interview. Until we speak though, take care of you, take care of others, and take care of the greater good. Bye for now.